Steps up, plays the ball into the penalty area. Somerville lifts it over the goalkeeper and breaks the deadlock here.
Drives one back in towards goal, and there it is! The customary celebration from Robbie Keane.
Here we go then, Matchday Live. Leeds United travelling to Coventry, just 6 games to go in the Sky Bet Championship race for promotion. I'm Rich Williams. If you want to watch today's match, you can do. Outside the UK and Ireland, it is available worldwide. Scan the QR code and watch the lads in action today. Joining me in the studio, Jermaine Beckford is here. As a fan base, have we ever been more interested in the events of what's going on in East Anglia than we have been over the last couple of hours or so, which of course has just finished, and we'll get on to today's game, but we can't not mention the fact that Ipswich have just lost, if you're tuning in and don't know this, have just lost 1-0 to Norwich, which makes today, it was already must win. Now you look at it and you think this is not just must win, it's a massive opportunity to go back to the top of the table.
It's a massive carrot, honestly, especially with Ipswich losing against Norwich. Great game, by the way, as well. We were watching it in the studio, absolutely fantastic. But look, it's coming towards the end of the season now. There's 6 games to go for us. If we can then take the top spot for the time being, at least, what that does in terms of a mental state, in terms of confidence-wise, and in terms of putting that pressure, that added pressure, back into Ipswich's camp, is major. We've got we'll have the mental edge over them. They will be looking at it next game, thinking, right, we have to win this game now. We can't afford to make any silly mistakes. We have to be fit and firing on all cylinders. Whereas we'll be looking at it saying, well, we've got the points on the board now. The pressure is on the other foot. The pressure is on the opposition. The pressure is on everybody else to now either beat the results that we've currently got or match it. They have to. So I'm excited by it.
It is exciting. You can see the players coming in there. Joe Rodon with a fantastic performance. You can see Ilya Gruev coming there. He's back in the team today, back from injury. Connor Roberts, he's back on the bench today. Willie Nonto's back on the bench. So a little bit more depth for the squad as well, which is good. Archie Gray, of course, his 18-year-old pal's doing pretty well, and we'll talk about that later on. We'll also hear from Ethan Ampadu. But if you want to send in your score predictions and let us know where you're watching around the world, please do on social media and WhatsApp using the hashtag LUTV Live. We would love to hear from you and know what's going on. We would like to apologise. We celebrated a Norwich goal in a Leeds United studio, and that felt all types of wrong.
It did.
It felt all types of wrong, but that's where we are. We should say Daniel Farker coming in, of course, with the rest of the staff. This is a really tough game in prospect. In fact, Norwich winning that game today puts them 7 points clear of Coventry, who are in 7th place and looking to try and make it into the playoffs. So this now becomes a must-win game for them. And their home form is good. We know how well they've done in the FA Cup. They've got a semi-final coming up against the team we won't mention. And we know how well they've been at home. I think it's 8 wins, 8 draws and only 3 defeats.
Yep.
There's no gimmies, especially at this time of the season. This is going to be a really tough game.
Yeah, of course. Look, Mark Robbins has done a fantastic job there. I've worked with him in the past, so I know what type of manager he is. He's a great man manager. He's a great motivator as well. He gets the teams playing. He gets his teams playing in a way that they have self-belief. You know, they don't fear anybody. So they'll be looking forward to us going to their ground today. They won't fear us. They will respect us, and they will want to maintain the run that they've been on, with exception to the last game, which they lost 2-1. But before that, they in all comps, they've won the last 4 prior to the last game was which they lost against Cardiff, I think it was. They're full of confidence, full of beans. They've got a couple of players in their team that know where the back of the net is. They are strong defensively. They're organised, but they're driven. They're focused. With Norwich picking up the points as well, it's given them a little bit of a gap between themselves and Coventry as well. So Coventry will want to maintain a close connection between themselves and Norwich. So again, that's another opportunity for them to try and get as close as they can to the playoff positions. I don't think...
well, do you want to run this past me first? You don't think...
Anyway. Yeah. I'm excited for this game because I know there's going to be spaces, there's going to be gaps for both teams to exploit. But I just think defensively we're far more astute, more solid, and with Archie Gray playing in the right back position, with Gruev playing in centre midfield, we've missed him. I think we've missed both of those players in those areas. And don't get me wrong, I know Archie's not a right back, I know he's not a full back, but what he's done this season has been nothing short of incredible, genuinely incredible, because he's a centre midfield player. It's his first season playing regular men's football, and he's been one of the standout performers in a position that's slightly foreign to him. So I'm excited for it from that perspective, but I also know that having spoken to the boys, a couple of the boys earlier on this week, they're excited about this as well. Attacking wise, they've got the freedom, the organisation to go out, express themselves, explore different areas of the pitch where we know that the opposition could be got at. I can't wait. I can't wait.
It is exciting, and a massive game in store, which of course you will be able to see here on LUTV. We'll talk more in the build-up to the game. We'll talk about those 4 points picked up over the Easter weekend as well. But before we do that, let's head to the West Midlands. Your commentary team today are Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo. Let's get their thoughts ahead of today's crucial match.
Well, today with the sun out and the raised temperatures, it really does feel like we're heading towards the end of this championship campaign. And with it, another big game comes here at Coventry this afternoon. The team news is good news because Gruev is back, Roberts back, Nonto back. So Daniel Farker has a lot of decisions to make in terms of the team he's picked. And in a sense, no surprise that he's put Gruev straight back in, is there?
No, because he's a really important part of this side. I think especially the last couple of games we haven't really controlled that midfield area as well as we would have liked, and Gruev does that. He just keeps the ball moving, rarely gives it away, and can win it back as well. So he's been an important member of this great run, and we have missed him the last couple of games.
And then to have the potential replacements in the shape of Nonto and Roberts off the bench just strengthens things up again, doesn't it?
It does, and everyone's pleased to see them, and we're surprised when they walked out the tunnel and thinking, wow, they could be part of it. So that's really good. So this time of the year, you want everyone fit and raring to go. It was a big blow with those international players being out, but now they look like they're on the way back. Various levels of fitness, but at least they're clearly available. And if you need something near the end of the game, bring on Nyonto. Got to be good news.
The sense, I think, for the game today is that this is going to be a difficult one. They looked a good side at Elland Road, didn't they?
They did, and they are a good side. What Mark Robbins has done here has been quite remarkable. And if you think of the good players they had last season, they had to sell their top two players for plenty of money, yet somehow here they are again pushing for those playoff positions again. Semi-finals of the FA Cup as well. People say to me, but they'll have their mind on that. No, they won't, because the only way to play in that semi-final is by playing well in the league, and they've still got a week or two to that game. So they'll be going for it. They're gunning for those playoffs. It's going to be a difficult game.
What's the key then to Leeds succeeding and doing what they need to do today?
Composure. I think in this sort of situation everyone else gets a little excited and the pressure is certainly on, but doing exactly what we've already done. There's nothing different. You just got to keep your composure, and I do think if we can keep the ball better in midfield, get it to our front four often enough, I think we win the game. Simple as that. We've got players that can make a difference in that last third. And
even Monday night showed that persistence pays, doesn't it? If you keep at it, eventually it might come.
You've got to keep trying, keep going, and eventually it will come. I've got a feeling for Georgie today, so come on. This time let's hope he can hit the target and score one, but it doesn't matter. There's plenty of players out there that can score. But certainly at the back, keeping it tight, Rodon and Ampadu, another big game from them too.
Your commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo will bring you all the action from 3 o'clock today. They mentioned they touched on that Hull game because it was 4 points over the Easter weekend. It goes to show just how far we've come and how competitive this league is. That almost the Watford draw felt like a disappointment. But I think the important thing was, and everyone said, it's how you back up a draw away from home when you get at home, and they got those 3 points against Hull.
Yeah, look, 4 points in those 2 games is really, really good. It genuinely is really good. I was a little bit surprised about the performance levels against Watford straight after the international break. However, I also know that, being realistic, every single one of the players that went away for international duty, their managers for their respective nations, they play a different type of football, a different style of football. So when they're coming back and they've only got maybe 2 or 3 days to try and get back in the swing of how Daniel Farke wants to play, there's naturally going to be a little bit of a grey area in terms of the levels that are required and the type of football that's required as well. So to get a point against Watford with the performance not being as perfect as we want, as what we've become accustomed to seeing, and then the 3 points against Hull City, again, another really difficult game. I thought, granted the score was 3-1, but the performance of Hull City, I thought they were really well organised. I thought they were really difficult to play against as well. And they held us for the majority of the game at 1-1, and up until the penalty from Somerville and the great finish from Dan James from the halfway line. Myself, I've been able to score 1 or 2 from the halfway line, so I know what that feels like.
I mean, speaking of great finishes, I think Sam Barham said he scored with his teeth here.
I mean, it slaps him in the face, doesn't it?
But, right place at the right time, and actually all that work down the left-hand side. I mean, actually the work really started with Jorginho Ruta picking it up where he did and driving forward with it. Yeah. But, we had to work for this win, didn't we? It certainly didn't come easy to us, and Hull gave us good as they got,
I think that was probably one of the best performances of an opposition team against us this season. They dominated possession, they created a lot of chances. Look, we're seeing a clip of the penalty that was given away here. It was a silly challenge, a challenge that didn't need to be made, but really well taken penalty after a little bit of a hoo-ha, deciding who's going to take it.
Is that the official term for that?
That's what I'm going to use. That's the terminology and the phrase I'm going to use. But ultimately, it's Hull City were really good, but it just shows the level of determination and self-belief as well from our players. Look, this finish here from Dan James was outrageous. He's sitting in the stands by the time the ball hits the back of the net.
Do you know what I love about this? Everyone in the East Stand knew it was going in because of the angle. If they were behind Dan James, everyone else, so you can see the East Stand start cheering before the rest. Everyone in the cup's like, is it going in the Revy? And the West Stand, no one quite knew until it literally bounced in. Yeah. Technically speaking, and I mean, it was at a stage of the game where if it goes wide, probably the whistle's going then anyway, and we win 2-1. But just technically speaking, that goal from Dan, who we know has had a tough couple of weeks given what happened with Wales, and actually an emotional couple of weeks with the birth of his second child as well. How difficult a finish was that? How good was it?
It was a brilliant finish, really difficult, because it's bouncing as well. So you've got to make sure you catch the ball with the right side of your foot. Make sure it's the instep, not the laces. If you hit it with the laces, it could go anywhere. It could peel off to the right and go to the wrong side of the goal. But he controlled it really well. He didn't try and lash at it. He didn't try and hit it as hard as he could. It was all about controlling the angle and controlling the pace of the ball. It was perfect, absolutely amazing, and I'm buzzing for him as well. Look, he had a brilliant start to the season. I think he had an injury where he got dropped, and Nonto came in and did really, really well. Again, the stuff that happened with Wales, look, it's unfortunate. It could have happened to anybody. It just so happened to have fallen at Dan's feet, and it's just one of those things. But it's how he reacts, and he's been during his career, he's had many, many ups. He's had many, many downs, and he's always reacted in the right way. He's bounced back positively, and that's what we're seeing. He's around people that believe in him. He's got a manager that believes in him, coaching staff that believe in him, and they'll be giving him the utmost confidence to believe in himself. And that finish would do absolute wonders for him as well. So I'm over the moon buzzing for him.
We had that situation on the Easter weekend where we were playing after everyone else, and just before that game, Ipswich got that really, really late goal to win the game, and you felt, anyone who was here at Elland Road, the whole place sort of went, oh no.
Not again.
We kind of got the opposite today with what's happened. How difficult is it as a player to not get distracted from what's going on? We were talking about this earlier. Players, they're watching what's going on, they're looking at the table, they'll know what's happened today. To not be distracted when something doesn't go your way, and equally not be distracted when something does go your way.
It's difficult, genuinely is, because all of the players know that the early kickoff is going to be one of the other teams. So we know, win, lose or draw, what we need to do. Ipswich, apart from today, continue to win, get those late goals, the late victories. It's frustrating. So the players would look at that and say, oh, I can't believe they've done it again. However, it's an added motivation. They want to make sure that we're within touching distance. So when Ipswich do slip up, or when Leicester City do slip up, we're able to capitalise on their mistakes, capitalise on those games that they're not able to get the victories. And that's what we'll be hoping for today. So we'll see Ipswich dropping points today. And we'll be looking at it thinking, right, well, now's the opportunity. Now we've got to make sure we take that chance, take those opportunities to put the pressure back on Ipswich, to put the pressure back on Leicester City and say, look, we're here for a reason. The reason we've been playing so well is because we're doing the things that we've been taught. And that's exactly what we'll be hoping for today.
Can someone get Beck straight down to the changing room now? So how long will it take you to get to Coventry?
Hey,
Give them the big
hydrated, fellas.
Give them the big hydrated. Okay, it wasn't just the first team in winning form this week at Elland Road, because our under-18s made it to the Youth Cup final for the first time in a whopping 27 years. It was a thriller in front of over 10,000 fans here at Elland Road.
Break off because Richards heads it inside towards Haywood. He'll try and recover. Beaumont, the one that's coming inside. Crew gets across. Millwall into the area with Richards going all the way across. Header in, and it is Haywood. And Millwall open the scoring. And a very good taken delivery into the area, and the slightest of touches, and a counter-attacking goal for Millwall. Leeds attack as a player goes to ground again. Referee this time will point to the spots, and there is the celebration from the passionate number 8, Reece Chadwick. Up he steps, bottom corner, simple as that. Reece Chadwick fires Leeds United back level, celebrates in front of the passionate crowd in the East Stand. Game on at Elland Road.
Cool, calm on the penalty. And to be fair, on the balance of play, no more than we deserve.
Crew drills it, he's found a way home! Charlie Crew, slightest gap in that bottom corner, and he wheels away to celebrate with his fellow midfielder. Chadwick and Crew, 2 quick-fire goals inside 4 minutes down the road. It's 2-1. Yeah, right underneath Mahadi. Horrible to deal with, and it hasn't been dealt with. Millwall have a goal back and an equalising goal, and it's skipper Joshua Stevenson that's got it. Ball in, 6-yard box, opportunity in. Not sure if it's an own goal or not, who cares? Lapata White, the one that celebrates. Leeds United have fired back into a 3-2 lead. Chadwick's ball in has caused problems. 2 goals in succession from corners. This time it's Leeds United's. Leeds 3, Millwall 2. Tolson plays Millwall into a good position, trying to get out. Lapata White had to touch it off the crossbar. Millwall are queuing up, it's in. Millwall have a goal back. It's level again at Elland Road. And number 7, George Beaumont, gets in on the act. Ball in not dealt with. Once it wasn't dealt with, carnage from there. Our mark gone, 6-goal game. Chadwick delivers, near post again, a touch. Lapata White, that time I think it is his goal. Him and Cresswell turn to celebrate. The centre halves cause chaos at the near post, and that man again, Chadwick's delivery, begging for a touch in a white shirt. It gets one. Millwall behind again. Leeds United 4, Millwall 3.
It's just the delivery yet again.
Now the fans, they can see on the scoreboard the time. They'll know that maybe just one last chance. No, there isn't. Leeds United have made history. 27 years since their last FA Youth Cup final appearance, and they are back in the showpiece of under-18s football. 1997, the last time they got there, they won it. 4 years early they got there, they won it. Is it third time lucky?
Yeah, really big celebrations for the under-18s who make it to the Youth Cup final, like we say, for the first time in 27 years. Quite an achievement. And Bex, they did it in some style. It was a bit of a thriller for all the fans that came down.
Interesting fashion. Look, attacking-wise, they were fantastic. Defensively, left a little bit to be desired. But ultimately, the most important thing that matters is the result. The win is, it doesn't matter how it comes about. They did that in front of 10,000 fans as well. And that would be a great occasion, a great moment for those boys as well, because not all of them will be able to play in front of that many fans again in an arena like this, you know. So for them to experience it, playing alongside their mates as well, and to have a game where it goes end to end, there's goals all over the place, there's excitement everywhere, they'll be buzzing for that. And they'll be looking forward to the final. I think it's against City, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll be looking forward to that.
They're under 18s, no good. Man City's under 18s. No, it should be fine, shouldn't it? It should be all good.
Listen, it's a one-game final.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The most important thing is they're there. They'll be excited about playing the final, and they'll be going in there with no pressure. There's no expectations for them to win it, you know, so apart from us. But they'll be going there. There'll be no pressure. They'll be able to enjoy themselves, and that's the most important thing for them today.
And I think the thing as well for players coming
in
through
the final, sorry, not today.
In the final, yeah. For players coming through, it's about seeing a potential pathway that could happen. They've got a pal in 18-year-old Archie who's in the first team and has been for the whole season. Charlie Crew's been on the bench now a couple of times, had that experience. And actually, it's important for those players to see, if we put in the performances, if we do well, this is a club where you can progress. Yeah, absolutely. Look, the rewards are massive. You know, if they're able to continue doing well, there's no expectation. We're not expecting them to turn up all of a sudden and be Archie Gray. We're not expecting that. But what we are hoping and wishing for is that when they do get their chance, if they do get their chance, they take that opportunity with both hands. Don't try and be somebody else. Be the best version of yourself you can be, and that's all that the club are looking for, and that's all the club are asking for. Yeah, well, a big congratulations to the under-18s. Fantastic performance to make it to the final, which will be against Manchester City. Details on the website of when that match will be coming our way. And I'm sure one person at Elland Road who was keeping an eye on the younger players will have been the manager of the first team, Daniel Farker, seeing who the up-and-coming are. Let's get his thoughts ahead of today's crunch match against Coventry.
I'm full of respect of Mark's job and what he's done, not just in this season, but also in the seasons before. It's remarkable what he was doing in the playoff finals last season. Then many important players left, and he had to rebuild again, and they were improving more or less from day one in their performances, also results. I'm a bit unhappy that their last result was not that great, because they are right now a bit more under pressure to win the points against us. But what he's done over the course of the season, and also how his team plays, and not just in the league, but as he mentioned, also in the cup competitions, and the way he leads his team is outstanding. So I think Mark should receive much more credit and would deserve to be even more in the spotlight. I think he's one of the outstanding coaches on this level, and for that we travel with respect. We know it's definitely one of the best sides in this league, who still have good chances to finish in the top 6 and will be highly motivated to do this. So it's definitely not an easy task, but we also know that we are in a good shape, and we also travel with confidence and want to show good performance, and then also to achieve a good result. I think if you try to go away from what you've done and what you have tried to bring into the heads and the hearts of the players during the whole season, if you just try to change it because you think, okay, as a manager you have to do something special right now, you will fail. You have to show consistency. This is quite important, and also calmness. If the lads got the feeling, oh, right now the manager gets nervous, or he wants to be in the spotlight, or wants to play a game of chess and do something unexpected, I think it's never beneficial. So it's important that you stick to your believings. It's important that you're not like a flag in the wind, but that you also hold the standards and high end, and also ask them to do the same what they've done more or less during the whole season. I don't think we will change a lot, and obviously it's important that you are there when there's a crunch time period of the season, but it's also important to play further on also with a smile on your face. So fire in the heart but cool in the head. If you're over motivated and you're too nervous, you will never achieve anything. You need to find a good balance out of motivation, and obviously in such a period the lads are naturally motivated, but also to make sure that they are not over the line and do something what they don't should do. So to find the right balance is always the key, and we're trying to do this.
The thoughts of Leeds United manager Daniel Farke. Keeping calm is the important thing, which is what no Leeds United fans across the world are doing right now, having seen the result of Norwich against Ipswich. How can you keep calm at a time like this?
Go and get yourself a cup of tea.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Right, Bex, give us your score prediction for today, pal.
I think we're going to run away with 3 points. I think we'll win by 2 goals. So whether it's 2-0 or 3-1, I don't care. I don't mind, as long as we get the win.
Well, a win would take us back to the top of the Sky Bet Championship. Let's get the thoughts of one of the most consistent players from the season, the brilliant Ethan Ampadu.
Big game again, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, of course they always are now. Coming towards the crunch time of the season, or should I say it is that crunch time of the season. Every game is big, every game is massive, but for us it's just about doing what we're doing to get to this point and trying to carry on with that mentality.
In terms of the squad and the team today, some good news, isn't there? A boost to the lads all coming back.
Of course, especially for this crunch time, you want everyone fit, everyone available, and yeah, when you get players back in, it's a massive boost.
Coventry at Elland Road showed they're a good side, didn't they? So you'll expect something difficult, I would imagine, today.
Yeah, of course. They made it tough for us. We didn't have the best game on the ball. We want to try and change that. We want to put in a better performance. That we know it's going to be a tough game. They haven't lost many here, so they're going to be full of confidence. They're going to want to get a result. Like you say, crunch time of the season, both teams playing for stuff.
Well, here we are. We are at the Coventry Building Society.